The third issue is that prohibition of hunting while a pilgrim is wearing the ihram is only for the animals of the land. Hunting sea animals or eating sea animals which have been hunted by others is allowed. This concession is because if provisions become scarce in land travel, they can be obtained by one way or another, but in sea travel, there is no option but to hunt animals. However, this permission does not mean that people wrongfully benefit from it. The prey hunted on land is prohibited in all circumstances. So if a person deliberately commits such a sin, then he must atone for it. There are three ways for this atonement. A similar household quadruped animal to that which has been hunted should be sent to the Baytullah for sacrifice. If this is not possible, then the price of such an animal should be calculated and the amount spent to feed the poor. If even this is not possible, then a person should fast. The number of these fasts should be equivalent to the number of poor a person has become liable to feed. As far as the decision is concerned regarding the type of animal to be sacrificed in return, or if this is not possible, then determining of the price of such an animal, or the number of poor which should be fed, or the number of fasts which should be kept, it shall be made by two trustworthy Muslims, so that no chance remains for the sinner to succumb to a wrong judgment. The Quran says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَيَبْلُوَنَّكُمُ اللَّهُ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الصَّيْدِ تَنَالُوهُ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَرِمَاحُكُمْ لِيَعْلَمَ اللَّهُ مَن يَخَافُهُ بِالْغَيْبِ فَمَنِ اعْتَدَى بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فَلَهُ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَقْتُلُوا الصَّيْدَ وَأَنْتُمْ حُرُمٌ وَمَنْ قَتَلَهُ مِنْكُمْ مُتَعَمِّدًا فَجَزَاءٌ مِثْلُ مَا قَتَلَ مِنَ النَّعَمِ يَحْكُمُ بِهِ ذَوَو عَدْلٍ مِنْكُمْ هَدْيًا بَالِغَ الْكَعْبَةَ أَوْ كَفَّارَةٌ طعام مساكين أو عدل ذلك صياما ليذوق وبال أمره عفى الله عما سلف ومن عاد فينتقم الله منه والله عزيز ذو انتقام أحل لكم صيد البحر وطعامه متاعا لكم وللسيارة وحرم عليكم صيد البر ما دمتم حرما واتقوا الله الذي إليه تحشرون. Believers, God will definitely try you through the prey which you can catch with your hands or with your spears in order to see who fear him without observing him. Then he who transgresses even after this warning shall be sternly punished. Believers, do not hunt while wearing the ihram, and any one of you who deliberately does so, then he should sacrifice a similar animal in return to the one he had killed. This decision shall be made by two just men among you, and this offering shall be sent to the Baytullah, or shall in expiation either feed the poor or fast a similar number, so that he may taste the evil consequences of his deed. God has forgiven what has been done in the past, but if anyone relapses into wrongdoing, God will avenge himself on him. This is the decision of God, and God is mighty and capable of revenge. Lawful for you is the prey you can catch from the sea and the sustenance it provides, a wholesome food for you and for the seafarer. But you are forbidden the prey hunted on land as long as you are wearing the ihram. Keep abiding by this directive, and have fear of God, before whom you shall all be assembled. Surah number 5, verses 94 to 96. The fourth issue is that if pilgrims are not able to reach the sacred house and are stranded somewhere, they can sacrifice a camel, a cow, or a goat, and after shaving their heads, they can take off their ihram. This will complete their Hajj and Umrah. On the occasion of the Truce of Hudaybiyah, this is precisely what the Prophet did. However, this much should remain clear, that whether the sacrifice is offered at such places or in Mecca or in Mina, shaving the head is not permissible before it. The only exception to this is if a person is sick, or if he has some ailment in his head and he is forced to shave his head before animal sacrifice. The Quran has allowed the pilgrims to do so in such circumstances, but they should atone for this in the form of keeping fasts, or spending in the way of God, or sacrificing an animal. The amounts of these acts of atonement are left to their own discretion. It is narrated that when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was asked about these amounts, he replied, "It would suffice if either a person fasts for 3 days, or feeds 6 poor people, or sacrifices a goat." Al-Bukhari, Al-Jami' As-Sahih, page 292, hadith number 1814. The Quran says, وَأَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ فَإِنْ أُحْصِرْتُمْ فَمَا اسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْهَدْيِ وَلَا تَحْلِقُوا رُؤُوسَكُمْ حَتَّى يَبْلُغَ الْهَدْيُ مَحِلَّهُ فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ بِهِ أَذًى مِنْ رَأْسِهِ فَفِدْيَةٌ مِنْ صِيَامٍ أَوْ صَدَقَةٍ أَوْ نُسُكٍ. And if the way to Hajj and Umrah is open to you, offer them with all their rights for God only. But if you are stranded on the way, sacrifice whatever offering is available to you, and do not shave your heads until the offerings have reached their destination. But if any of you is ill or suffers from an ailment of the head, he must atone for this either by fasting or by spending in the way of God or by offering a sacrifice. Surah number 2, verse 196. The fifth issue is that if those who have come from outside want to combine the Hajj and the Umrah in one journey, they can do so. The way to do this is that they should first take off the Ihram after offering the Umrah. Then they should again put it on the 8th of Zulhajj and then offer the Hajj. This is a mere concession which the Almighty has provided the pilgrims to save themselves of the bother of two journeys. Thus they will atone for benefiting from this concession. There are two ways for this. They should offer the sacrifice of whatever animal is available to them from a camel, cow, or goat. If this is not possible, then they should fast for 10 days, 3 during their Hajj stay and 7 when they return. It is evident from the above explanation that what is pleasing in the sight of God is that one should make separate journeys for Hajj and Umrah. Thus the Quran has clarified that this lenience is not for those whose houses are near the sacred mosque. فَإِذَا أَمِنْتُمْ فَمَنْ تَمَتَّعَ بِالْأُمْرَةِ إِلَى الْحَجِّ فَمَا اسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْهَدْيِ فَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ فَصِيَامُ 3 أَيَّامٍ فِي الْحَجِّ و7 إِذَا رَجَعْتُمْ تِلْكَ 10 كَامِلَةٌ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ أَهْلُهُ حَاضِرِي الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. Then in peacetime, anyone among you who benefits from the Umrah till the Hajj time arrives, he should sacrifice any animal that is available. And if it is not available, he should fast for 3 days during the Hajj and 7 when he has returned. These are 10 days in all. This concession of combining Hajj with Umrah in a single journey is only for those whose houses are not located near the sacred mosque. Follow this directive and have fear of God, and know well that God is stern in retribution. Surah number 2, verse 196. It should remain clear that those who want to avail this concession are not required to bring the hadi animals along with them. They can buy them from there on the day of sacrifice. The reason for this is that these animals shall be sacrificed on the 10th of Zulhajj, and as is evident from the above discussion, they cannot shave their heads unless the sacrifice takes place. As a natural consequence of this, they would not be able to take off their ihram. At the occasion of the last Hajj, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ faced this very situation. Consequently, he is reported to have said, "Had what has now become evident to me become evident earlier, I would not have brought the hadi animals along, and if I had not brought them, I would have been able to take off my ihram." Al-Bukhari, Al-Jami As-Sahih, page 267, hadith number 1651. The sixth issue is that pilgrims can return from Mina on the 12th of Zulhajj and can also stay on till the 13th. The Almighty has said that both cases will incur no sin. The reason for this is that the extent of stay does not hold real significance. What does hold real significance is whether the time of stay, however much it may be, was spent in the remembrance of God or not. The Quran says, وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ فِي أَيَّامٍ مَعْدُودَاتٍ فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ لِمَنِ اتَّقَى وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْهِ تُحْشَرُونَ. And remember God in these few appointed days at Mina. He who is in haste and departs on the second day incurs no sin, nor does he who stays on longer. Yes, but for those who truly fear God and have fear of God, and be aware that one day you shall all be gathered before Him.